Namaskar. Hello everyone and welcome to Gazali. Today we are here with Reshma Suvarna, who is the founder of the initiative called Let's Robo. Now it's an initiative that introduces young kids to robotics. Ma'am, could you please tell us more about the initiative?
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me, and it's a pleasure being here. I always thought Goa as a fun place to be, so it's really nice that we are starting something professionally. So that's a great thing about doing something in Goa. Well, robotics is generally when we look at any technology area, we start considering them only after your higher secondary, after 11th standard. So this is an initiative where we are trying to introduce technology in addition to robotics, programming, machines and electronic circuits at a very early age to the kids. So third standard, fourth standard, right from there the curriculum goes all the way to 12th standard. And the idea being that if you introduce them at this early on in their age, they're very comfortable with it because they play with it and that is how they learn. And by the time they finish the higher secondary, they kind of become experts, they want to explore that field further and do something in that area.
So on a personal note, ma'am, what drove you to start this initiative?
Okay. So I was in US for 17 years and I moved back to India for family reasons. So when we moved back, my daughter was already in second standard and she was doing some part of robotics. And she was too young to really understand whether she is interested or not interested. But as she used to spend time, working with the robots, doing some kind of programming, I found that if it would be a good idea to keep that interest going on. When we came to India, I did not find anything substantial in terms of, they used to have 2-3 day workshops where they'll, run a couple of robots, but nothing in terms of it's building on and something on a long term basis and where we can guarantee that these are the skills they'll learn. So since we didn't have any such thing here, so especially in the western belt after Pune, so we thought that it might be a good idea to introduce kids over here to this initiative. And in addition to just following something, just getting kits and everything, what we decided to take advantage of the fact that we still have connections with the US and the European technology programs. So we designed a curriculum which will be as per the global standards. See, we are in a global world. Our kids are going to compete at the global level. So when we are imparting them some kind of knowledge or we are training them on some technology area, we need to consider those aspects as well. So we decided to develop a program which will be as per the US and the European standards.
Ma'am, now if you are talking about imparting technical knowledge in accordance with the European standards,
Right.
now not all kids come from technology background, right? Some are not going to be that adapt to technology.
Right.
So how do you tackle these kids?
So generally what happens is kids absorb anything you teach them, so we think, okay, this might be difficult. If you don't tell them it's difficult or easy, if you just bring it in front of them, they'll do it. And basically the way the program is designed, it's pretty hands-on learning. So they build robots, they do programming, they make game designs without without understanding, okay, what level we are crossing, is it difficult, are we doing it as per global standards. It's a very hands-on creative atmosphere where they play with kids, they do different things, they make mistakes, they fix their own mistakes. So it's kind of learning.
If you talk about mistakes, ma'am, now this might be a layman's perspective, I don't know, but if you are giving them robotics tools,
Right.
there are chances that they might break a few tools here and there. So
Yeah.
how do you tackle, how do you have to face that?
So generally, we kind of, when there is something which will break or something, we are a little bit careful with that and we'll let them explore. Like we have this machine kits, so they'll assemble it in a completely wrong way and they'll do it in the right way. So even for robots, a lot of these robots are pretty sturdy. So hopefully, they don't break when they fall. But the kids, the idea is to give them in a fun atmosphere. And what are the skills we are assessing, or when we move from one level to next level, it's completely transparent to them. They are not getting a feedback in terms of, okay, how many questions you answered correctly. We are observing what they are learning, what areas they need to be focused on. That is all.
What kind of feedback are they getting? Like how do they know that I have crossed this level and now, like that joy that you feel when you are advancing, how
Right.
do they get that?
So what happens is every week they have a lesson plan. So they go through those. So every week has milestones. So they go through those milestones. So they have to finish, let's say if they're doing a machine, then they have to finish the construction of the machine. Then there'll be little discussion. There'll be questions and discussions about how that machine is working, how you can make it better. If they're doing robots, then they have some hurdles which the robot needs to, puzzles and everything which the robots need to implement. They need to implement within that robot. So when they do that, there is a joy, or when they're doing a circuit, they see, oh, the circuit is now working. So first what we do is we give them a hands-on environment. They enjoy the whole process, and then we have a discussion about, okay, why it is working, how it is working, and if you make these changes. Then when we are assessing it, so what we assess is whatever they have learned. We do like mini projects on what their skill set they have learned. So that project kind of envelops the whole different things they have learned in that 6-month or 8-month period, and then we do.
And what kind of robots do you teach in your curriculum?
We do all different types of robots from 3rd standard to 12th standard. So we'll have Vidoos, we'll have Ozobots, Make Blocks, we do have Mindstorms, Vex robots. So we have read from very easy going to pretty big multi-use robots.
What's the most complex robot that you've taught till now as a part of this?
So we have actually Mindstorms and Vex robots are the ones which can be assembled in multiple ways, and they also have multiple sensors, and the brain is like a brick, and you can put in multiple programs.
What tasks can this robot perform? Like for the layman, what is this?
They do everything, because when when you have Lego Mindstorm robot, so that has the ability to throw, to push, to carry, lift, to move at an angle, and to climb inclined surfaces. So there are a lot of things. So what happens is they come with multiple different ways you can assemble it. So you can put wheels in the at the legs, at the end of the legs, or you can put how we have that crane kind of thing. So you can put that depending upon what use you're going to get out of it. So when you're using a hand, you can use it for lifting, or you can use something which will throw. So
now generally when you're teaching, you're dealing with kids, they have very short attention span, or how do you get around that issue also? What are the other issues that you faced, and how have you
Right. So one big thing when you're dealing with kids is if you have a full lecture kind of thing, they are bound to fall asleep in the first 10-15 minutes. See, in our program, the way it's designed is it's very practical. So there's nothing theory. You won't have a blackboard, and you won't have teachers teaching them, okay, how the robot is working. They get the robot, they play with the robot. So everything is hands-on. Whether they are learning electronics, whether they are learning machines, robots, programming, everything is, they will do it by themselves. So there is no scope of they getting bored, because they have to keep, doing it in a hands-on environment. And lot of times there is a lot of discussion, so we don't have a lot of written thing. What we are doing with this is, we are assessing the skills which basically we are following a STEAM model, which is science, technology, engineering, arts and math. And when we follow this model, the idea behind following this model is we focus on developing the 4 C's in any child. So that is creativity, critical thinking, communication and collaboration. So every lesson plan, the way it is designed, it will focus on these 4 areas. So that will have, big part of it will be oral communication. So
now all that you have covered till now, ma'am, is about robotics.
Right.
Then you talk about covering the arts angle in robotics.
Right.
So apart from communications,
right.
Where does arts feature in your?
In all the 4 modules, the art will feature, because when they're doing computer programming, we teach them using game design and animation. The reason being, first of all, it gets them very interested, so they really want to do it. Secondly, that's the best way of inculcating creativity in them. When you're doing a game design, see, when we are young, we play games, we make our own games. By the time we grow up, even when our kids say, okay, let's come up with a game, we cannot do it because we have lost that ability. So game design is one of the most creative aspects. So we don't want the kids to lose that. Same way it is animation. How will you design your character? What will the background be? What will be the storyline be? So that is one of the big components. Same thing it's with robots. When they are doing robots, we tell them, okay, this is the goal we want to achieve. How you come about it, how you want the program to run, how you want your robot to look, what lights you want to go on and off and everything. So they are all their decision points. And every machines and everything, they'll always have this part that, okay, how do you think this can be made better, or what is a creative use of this particular thing. So we try to include it in every aspect.
Yeah,
of it.
but ma'am, there are so many robotics workshops out there, you know, in the market. So what makes you different?
So one of the big things is that we have a very well planned curriculum. See, what happens is generally we have a very retro style of doing it. What we do is we have kids, then we run something, and the hope is that the kids will learn something out of it. What we wanted to do was, since I was doing it for my own daughter, my aspect was there has to be like a fixed curriculum. We need to have a goal, what we want that kid to learn or what we want to achieve in that period of time. And then how do you, this is what you want to achieve, then this is how you plan the curriculum for that. And then based on the curriculum, you get the right kits for them. Okay, this kit is going to teach them this part of it. The next set of kit will teach the advanced kit. So based on the curriculum, we design the kits, and based on that kits and everything, we train our trainers who already have a technology background. So they are very good with technology. So when the kids need help, you know, they know how to help those kids, how to make it easy for them. So all our teachers are also from that background. Plus, to make sure that we are maintaining our standards, we are affiliating and getting certified by US universities, because they are the ones who have something like that. You know, we still don't have that certification programs here. So we are trying to do that. And at the same time, we make sure that the kits which we get, they are updated with what's happening at the global level, what new things are getting introduced, and we try to bring it back.
So this is about training kids, which also school kids. But now, as you said, technology is going to change the nature of the jobs over the next decade. So do you have any plans to expand this knowledge to adults and youth?
Yeah, definitely. So right now, when we are starting it, we are starting with robotics and programming at a basic level, and then their expertise goes on increasing from there on. When we are talking about 11th, 12th and you know, like engineering students, a lot of focus has to be on more commercial uses, practical implementations of robotics and artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is still be here everywhere, but we are trying to come up with again on a global level, we are trying to come up with a proper curriculum which will include artificial intelligence, implementation of AI using Python language, ethics which needs to be used for AI, and how you do a robot RPA, like a robotic process automation and things like that. So definitely this will go on expanding, you know, at every
So do you have, see, there is an area where a new skill set is developing, and the adults who are already in the industry, they also need to up their skills. So do you also plan to get into that area anytime?
Yeah, we already have a lot of these industries, manufacturing and all, they are already introducing robots in their plants. And also when we are talking about on the phone, we have a lot of AI applications already going on. So as per the need about, you know, which area, which skill set that group of professionals are going to come across. So the training can be designed based on that, you know, what skill set they would need, and then we would have to teach that.
Yeah. But ma'am, you talked about, you know, training people with this skill set, enabling them to you know, get jobs, be creative at a time when AI is advancing.
Right.
So, but there are always going to be people who are at the bottom rung of the society, be it economically, be it creatively. So, at a time when AI is taking away all the jobs, how should this section of the society survive?
So AI is going to take away jobs, but at the same time AI is also bring in new jobs. I agree that a lot of these jobs will go to the more educated class, definitely. But in countries like India, it's going to take a lot of time for AI to create impact on a very day-to-day lifestyle that we have. You know, when we are talking about the immediate impact, we are talking in terms of professional jobs. You know, whether you are into software, whether you are creativity, animation, or whether you are into banking industry, these areas will see a big impact of AI and robotics in the next 5-10 years right away. But when we are talking about replacing robots at our homes or replacing robots in commercial spaces, that will still need a little bit of time, and I think that will give us that how we need to plan through it, how we need to get our way through it. So, but yeah, it'll come at some point of time.
Uh, Also, ma'am, you've been in the US for such a long time, and now you are in India. You're working in education. So, how do you think the American students compare with Indian ones?
Well, we are very hardworking Indian students, because since childhood we are taught to do our schoolwork and homework and everything, which is a very good thing, because that helps us survive into very difficult situations. We have the tenacity to survive into those things. What I find is there people explore. So education is like exploration. There is it's not a very narrow-minded approach that okay, these are the 6 subjects you have to learn, and in this year you have to learn so much, next year, So they will explore based on the child's interest, what's happening in the world, how we can make it more hands-on. So for my own daughter, we do homeschooling, and my experience with her is she was in 3rd standard and they introduced Newton's principles, the 3 Newton's laws, and her textbook, it was just 2 pages. 2 pages explained all the Newton's laws, but then she had to do 10 different experiments, and that is what taught her exactly what Newton's laws are. So she will not know the theory. She might not be able to give a perfect definition. She'll explain what the law is, but she might not be able to give a perfect definition. But you give her any practical implementation, she'll right away tell you, okay, this is based on this law. Or if she is doing an experiment, she will know where to use it. So that's a very important thing, that when kids do it in a very hands-on environment, and when you keep education at a discussion level, they go beyond what is in the textbook and actually do it in the practical world.
But see, now here especially I'm talking about Indian students, we are used to that kind of discipline.
Right.
So when you put them in a casual environment,
Right.
they are like somewhere they are bound to feel, ki now there's a little freedom, so let me just.
Right.
So how do you ensure that some degree of discipline remains there?
Discipline can be there. So when we are talking about schools, I'm not saying that okay, you have your lectures, but let's say if I have a science class, how I do that class, there you have a lot of freedom. The teachers have a freedom, the schools have a freedom. So if I want to teach plants, it's my choice. If I want to sit in the classroom, teach. If I want to take my kids in the garden and teach them how plants actually are there. If I want to teach photosynthesis, I can explain everything in photosynthesis, or I can take a leaf, wrap a black paper around it and leave it for 10 days, and they will see the difference. They will know what photosynthesis is, right, practically. So the thing is, we have so many tools at our we have so many tools available right now. So we need to make use of that, because a kid will learn, but the joy of learning, we have to make sure that learning is an ongoing process. So it's not like after 12th we are going to stop learning. So how do you make it a continuous process to get them interested in that subject? And when you do things hands-on, when they actually do a game design, or when they do a program, or they when do science experiments, they want to do more and more about it, and then that is what keeps them into that mode of continuous learning.
2 questions, ma'am. Now you said about this program that you have, it's obviously going to be about kids. It's going to be like kids who are into engineering or who like technology. They are going to enjoy it, no doubt. But for somebody who is decided to choose arts,
Right.
who is not going to be using technology that much at least now, like when he goes into professional life, how does this program help that child?
That's a very good point, because I think lot of parents always think from that perspective. So what happens is, see, we are thinking of technology is going to only reach out at the engineering level. When we're looking at AI and robotics, everybody uses phone, everybody, but we are using it like a consumer part. If tomorrow I'm into animation, or I'm into drawing, or I'm into even doing writing or commerce and all those areas, we are going to interact to some level with these kind of technologies. And if we have a good grasp of this, then in that case we can use it to our advantage. Just to give an example, if I want to become a good animator, and if I know that okay, there are these 8 to 10 tools I can use, and even some part of programming I know, then I'm going to be a better one. I can use my creativity and take help of all these tools. So same thing, if I'm going to be into commerce, but I know with artificial intelligence, these are the kind of reports, these are kind of the business dashboards I can have at my at my hands, then in that case that is going to make my job easy. It's same like when the kid is starting the education, we make sure that they are introduced to math and science. We don't put it as optional. How much math and science do an artistic person is going to use, but still that basic knowledge helps them in their craft, whatever their craft is.
Yeah. So but ma'am, even let us suppose you are introducing these to 12th kids, and 12th there are across all streams,
right.
But there is a kind of fear when it comes to technology,
right.
When you give it to kids from non-technical background. So how do you tackle that fear?
So we give them everything hands-on. So we will give them a kit and we'll say, okay, you play with it, you see, you play with a robot. So first 1 or 2 classes, they have a little bit of apprehension, but then they open up. And what happens though, when we are teaching this curriculum, we are focusing on those 4 skills, the critical thinking, creativity, communication and collaboration. Whichever area you take, you need these things. You need to have the ability to think out of the box, to think at that spur of moment, okay, what's the solution? How do I solve that problem? If there is a solution, how do I present it in a more creative way? And how I communicate that solution to the rest of the crowd. And if I'm working in a team, it's very important. You might have all the skills, but you might not be comfortable working in a team. So if we look at only the technology aspect, we need to add these other qualities which we are inculcating in the kids, and that you see a difference when a kid has started the program, and as the kid is going across it, you will see a development into all these 4-5 areas.
Also, now if we are talking about technology, we are talking about enabling kids with technology, how technology is impacting life today.
Right.
So somewhere it is said that because of things like phones or laptops or anything,
right.
Popular communication contact is like human contact is decreasing.
Right.
There are negative
right.
ways in which technology is impacting us. Right. So how do you balance that technology and humanity,
right.
both these aspects?
Right. This is also a very good point, because there's always a debate about this, right? That how much technology is enough. So what happens is, see, we have to, right now everybody is consumers of technology. We are consuming that technology, and we are marketed all these different products and games and everything, but we are not the makers of technology. So we need to encourage our kids from being consumers of technology to makers of technology by teaching them this technology subject, so they can come up with their own games, they can come up with their own robots, they can come up with their own machines. So that is first aspect. So use technology to develop yourself, other than using technology to dumb us down. See, generally this technology dumbs us down.
But then again, you are going deeper into technology.
You're going deeper.
Where is the human interaction, that
right.
angle? Right.
So the thing is, for human interaction, you have to limit your time. So any technology person and people who are, if you look at all Steve Jobs was, or all these tech leaders, they expose their kids to very small amount of time when it comes to consuming technology. See, those kids do learn programming, those kids do learn robotics, but how much time will I give my kid to watch a YouTube channel, or what should they watch on YouTube, or if they are playing a game, what kind of game they can play. They can play physics games also, or they can play PUBG, or they can use some violin games. So what you pick and choose and how much time you allocate, that is important. And human connection, you have to switch it off at you have to switch off technology at some point.
Yeah, so, but then today, today parents are out,
right.
all the time
right.
because of career and also. How do you ensure ki if you could tell kids to, you watch this, you do this, how do you ensure that they are doing only that, sticking to that?
So generally, I think it's a very bad idea to give them a technology tool when you are not around, because that you're just giving it a free hand for them to explore. So it's always better that you are monitoring their activity. Also, there are a lot of tools you get, so you can monitor what the kids are doing on the phone. You can trace their history, what they have done. You can put locks and everything. But at the same time, once you are at home, you need to spend at least 2 hours communicating with them, understanding, what is their thought process. Spending one-on-one time with them. So that is, technology should never impact that family time we are talking about, or the time when the kids go and play outside and they, socialize with their friends. Because this is one of the burning problems, that kids, even if they're sitting in a group, they're all playing games on the phone. So that has to be controlled, and I would never leave any technology tool with the kids without being monitored, or they have it by themselves. So
That being one angle, let me go to a little bit, you might call it impractical, but then there is this fear about AI taking over the world.
Right.
That if you've seen the movie I, Robot, where
Right.
robots learning to think by themselves and taking all the important decisions.
Right.
Do you think such scenario will come anytime? What do you think about this idea?
I think it will come, because what is happening, right? We are doing all these neural networks and machine learning. Like Watson, he does play chess, right? So he does think by himself, and there is that process, and that's going to keep improving because we are doing the neural networks and they are training themselves. So somewhere that is going to come, but there are a lot of ethical issues which are already, Europe is already looking very actively into how we can limit what we are exposing to AI. How much we want to give control to the AI tools. So definitely, if you're looking at the ethical aspect and more, and this will get better and better as it will come into picture.
I don't know whether this is true, but does AI have this aspect of evolution? You expose it to so much, but can it learn and develop itself and advance?
Slowly it will, because see, now when you're looking at languages, the way when we're talking to Siri, when we're talking to Cortana and everything, so those languages are, they are learning and getting better and better understanding humans. So that is, the ability is there. So, but hopefully with the whole ethic laws and with how European standards are coming, they might be able to curb it or at least keep it in control. So that is how it will be.
So thank you, ma'am, for coming here with us and interacting with us and sharing your knowledge about this platform. Before we part, ma'am, what are your future plans? And also, what do you think about the Indian education system?
I think we have a very good system in terms of, we have discipline, we have hardworking kids, our kids are also very intelligent and smart. I think we just need to give more options to exploration, trying out new things, and do more hands-on learning. So I think that is very important, keep that interest of the kids. So when they grow, they continue learning and making progress in that area. So that's what I would like to share, that give your kids the liberty to, explore things and find what their passion is in.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.